All right, I had this up on the wall, hanging right over there next to that dowel, hanging down by that pipe. And when I went to get stuff, the slots are on the back side, which was, I think I just messed up and put it on the back side and then look, oh, my slot's in the back side. Then I used a different type of a deal here where you slide this up and it pulls the end out. I thought, well, after picking tape up for a while, and then my tape is running into each other when I use the big rolls, I thought, you know what, it's time to take this up a notch and get rid of the nonsense and make it work a little better. I like this setup. That makes it easy. But the thing is I just went into a hole here, and either way, I'd have to kind of figure it out. So I'm putting notches on both sides. And first thing I said, okay, how much room do I need? And these were a little bit too narrow because if you got two full pieces of tape, they would run into each other. So I said, okay, let's make this a little bigger. So I went 5 inches between centers on my holes. And then I had an old flagpole that had rotted, and so the flag had rotted, so I had that and pulled that out of my resource bin up there. This is old plywood from a 35-year-old, 40-year-old hutch that I had recycled. So anyway, so I'm going that way, and I'm going to get ready to cut the notches out right here. I'll just do that on the bandsaw. It doesn't have to be that accurate. And then I cut two pieces of 1/4 inch plywood and had ripped them all at the same length. These are a little bit longer, and these will go on the outsides. That will keep the dowels from sliding in and out. And then I'll cut a nice round edge over them and put them in there. And then I'll of course need a cross piece across each side to, you know, keep the box square. And let me get that done. So that's what I'm working on, and I use the miter gauge to come up with the angle. It's 60 degrees. This angle right here is 60 degrees, and there's my angle. So I just use the miter guard as my compass or my that kind of thing. Comes in really handy. And let me just put that back up here on the old table saw to get it out of my way. And it just gets thrown up in there like that, and doesn't really have a place. It just sits in there. So anyway, I did try these Hercules bits out. They're Forstner type bits. They're designed to cut at any angle. I have cut myself a couple times using Forstners and a hand drill. So I'm just not going to use a Forstner bit in a hand drill, even when I drill a nice have a pilot hole. Maybe I might if I was using something like this with a pilot, but if it's just freehanding and it's on the edge or close to the edge, yeah, I've got some stitches in right here that you can see the line there with a Forstner and a 2 1/4 inch. So do some dust collection, and I've had several other people that have got themselves with the Forstner. So anyway, these are our Forstner type bit. I do have the other type Forstners, but you know, these are cutting real well. I just bought these a couple weeks ago and giving them a go. So let me get those cut out on the bandsaw. All right, using the old gun, whatever your holder, rifle rack kind of design. There's my pieces for here. They'll go in there like that and hold the tape. There'll be 3 of them in there. And then I just need to cut my design for the outside, and the round edge on the bottom is what I need to do so I don't nab me. Anyway, so I'll screw those together and then cut the end of it off. All right, last cut. Just run the screw through there to hold them the piece together, and just did it real quick. I'll probably put one more screw in there and just kind of tack them around a little bit. And there's the other piece out there. I'll take that up and run that down to the bottom, and then got me a couple square pieces for the top, and away I'll go. All right, went over to the scrap pile and found a couple boards from probably that same bench. There was remainders or something, and they're 17 inches full, so they'll be just about the right height. They're a little bit different in the thickness, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go ahead and put them to the end and put them in there. So there we go. All right, there's my tape dispenser rack. It's sideways, of course. I did glue the 1/4 inch laminate that keeps the post in, and of course they slide in and out just fine. Got them clamped down here pretty tight. There's maybe an 1/8 inch play. I might trim them off just an 1/8 of an inch, get them. But anyway, I wanted them pretty well square when I was gluing it up. And on the side here, I decided to mount it on the top, up there on the top shelf of that. This will overlap the top of the shelf here, this part right here, and this will just bring it out front. I don't have any late wasted space that way. And with it dropping down about 3.5 inches, a little bit lower, I thought, well, this might be better. So let me get that done. All right. Already found out that I like this much better. If I need a piece of tape off of one end, I just grab the closest end and slide it out, slide them off, and go to town. I only had one piece of tape that this hole was too big, and it was a mashed piece of tape, so I didn't really care about that. Anyway, that housed my tape, got a little bit of room for growth, and that worked out good. So glad that that's done. I've picked up tape down in there so many times, and it didn't really cover anything up by doing it the way I did it, so that's good.